It's your girl, Ro, and I'm bringing you more.
Hello, my Braid Spot beauties. I am going to be showing you how we achieved this beautiful Jumbo Knotless Box Braids with that beautiful vintage rose ombre at the ends. Let's go ahead and get started. First, we want to make sure that our hair has been thoroughly washed and conditioned. Then we're going to make sure that we blow dry the hair properly. As you can see, her hair has a little bit of heat damage, but it's okay. We're going to go ahead and apply this Infusium 23, which has all these vitamins and minerals in it to help repair the damage to her hair. I'm going to spray that all over her hair evenly. Then we're going to go ahead and section her hair off into sections to begin the blow dry process. Now you want to make sure when you blow drying your hair to prevent further heat damage, we want to make sure that you are using a heat protectant, a thermal heat protectant. In this video, I am using the Matrix heat protectant. And I tried to show you in the bottle, but I had the bottle turned around wrong. So we're going to go ahead and apply that and begin blow drying. You want to make sure that you're blow drying your hair thoroughly before your braid service to make sure that it doesn't mildew underneath the braids while it is braided. Now, I do know that sometimes some people braid their hair while it is damp or wet, but I just don't recommend it. So I just make sure that my client's hair has been blow dried thoroughly. And it also helps with the process of the knotless braids so that the roots can be smooth when you're doing the knotless, and so you will get a seamless braid at the beginning of the braid because you're going to be starting your braid off with the natural hair. So here I am just combing the hair out, sectioning it through, just making sure that it's dry all the way through. And I'm just parting it and combing it through. As you can see, again, we do have a little bit of heat damage, so we are going to trim these ends a little later. We're not going to do it now, but we're going to go ahead and just check for elasticity in the hair. As you can see, it has a lot of body, it has a little bit of shine, and that's just, because it's a little damage. We're going to show once again how much body she has in there, and that's what you want when you're starting a braid service. Next, we're going to go ahead and begin prepping our hair. This is the vintage rose pink hair. The pink hair I did cut into threes. It is the expressions, the 82-inch expressions. I cut it into threes. So now what I'm doing is just pre-feathering it so that it'll be easier at the end, and it doesn't have that bulkiness at the end. And I'm just using a wig brush to brush it through so that it can smooth it out. Then I'm just going to lay the pieces in sections across my little braid assistant, I want to call it, and just lay that across into small sections. Now these sections are going to be a lot smaller than the middle section and the beginning section because it's the ending, and you want your braid to start out jumbo and then gradually come into a thin end so it can have that feathered look. The middle section, the middle color is color number 33, is also the 82-inch expressions. Now I did cut that into 4, and that I am also going to feather out a little bit, but not as much as the vintage rose. And as you can see, the size that I'm picking is a little bit thicker because it's going to be in the middle section. And I'm just going to go ahead and lay that out as well. And as you can see, I'm just basically picking off pieces and I'm not counting it. I just, put it in there as much as I can so that it'll help me during the braid process. Now the beginning braid, beginning of the braid will be color number 1B, and that is the Expressions pre-stretch hair, so it's already stretched. So that made it a little easier for me to start out with. I just could not find the vintage rose or the 33 and the pre-stretch hair. So I just went ahead and just brought those in the regular Expressions 82-inch hair. So as you can see, the size of the 1B is a lot thicker than the 33 and the vintage rose. I'm gonna go continue to lay that out one by one, just in the amount that I think I'm gonna need. As you can see, all my colors are laid out on the rack, and this is what it looks like when I complete the entire rack. As you can see, I've already sectioned the hair off. For the first section, I'm going to get started. I did add a little bit of oil to keep the hair moisturized while it is under the braid. That is very important, and I'm just checking to make sure that's the size that I want. And I'm going to go ahead and do the first braid off camera. As you can see, I started out with the black 33 and then the vintage rose so that it can gradually go into the pink. We're going to go ahead and go into the next section. Now, while I am starting the braid, I do like to use an edge control, and this one I'm using the Edge Effect edge control, and that's what I'm using, just a little bit to start the braid off, and it helps to lay the braid to help it be smooth at the beginning. It also helps to put all her baby edges into the braid. I also like to use Murray's Edge Wax. Now, the Murray's Edge Wax is really good with parting. It helps the parting look seamless, where you don't see any type of gaps or any type of hair coming through the part. So what I do is just add both to the section, and I just comb it through. First thing you want to do is make sure your part is nice and crisp. Then you want to add some Shine Jam. I totally forgot about my Shine Jam. Now, the Shine Jam also helps with the braiding process, and with the ends of it where it's frizzy, you can use that Shine Jam to blend it into the braid. And I was just basically comparing the size of the braid to the one that I'm going to begin. You're going to make sure you have your hair sectioned into 3 sections, because that is also important when you're starting the knotless braids. You want to make sure that that knot is seamless and that it's not there at all when you start your braid. Now, I've already added the first section, and with knotless braids, it's a gradual effect. So you're going to be adding in braids as you go. And you will add in until you have achieved the desired thickness or the desired volume that you want for your braid. And then you will continue to braid down. And then you will braid down as far as you like to until you want to begin adding your color. And as you can see, where I've added some Shine Jam to the frizzy ends of her hair to help that blend into the braid. It also helps to conceal her natural hair, and it holds it in for a while to where it's not frizzing out for however long she chooses to wear the braid. As long as she doesn't do anything strenuous to it, wet it, that should hold until she decides to take them out. Now, she can always go back in and add more Shine Jam. Now, what I'm doing is adding in the number 33, and I did the 33 cut it into 4s because I didn't want too much of the 33. I just wanted enough to wherein I'm able to blend in the pink, because I didn't think that the pink would look that good going from black to pink. I just wanted to have a gradual effect to it, to where it's going from dark to light, or dark to medium brown to light. And so now I'm just adding in the pink, and as you add in, again, you are adding in the pieces. It's called feed in. So you're feeding in the color to the braid. And what you want to do as you're going down to conceal the lighter color from the darker color, you want to make sure that you're tucking as you're braiding so that it is concealed. And so I'm just going to continue to braid down, and I'm going to allow you to see what I'm doing. So keep watching. As you can see, I've already made my way to the top. I've completed the rest of it off camera, and now I'm just going to demonstrate how I complete the top half, or the last couple of braids that's at the top. I did give her a middle part, which even though there is a middle part, she can still free part it and move her braids to the side and do, you know, just a side part with wherever her parting is. And again, I'm just starting out with the 1B, and I'm adding in the 33, and then I'll go ahead and add in some vintage rolls, and that'll complete that braid. So I'm going to continue to do this throughout the top. These, I believe it's about 6 more braids left, so just keep watching. While I'm finishing up the top, I would like to point out something really quick. As you can see, I have her edges pushed into the braid. What I do is I just use some edge control to push the edges in, because I'm not a fan of braiding edges. I like to save people's edges as much as possible. She can create some designs with her edges if she like once I'm completed. However, you know, just for me, I just simply take whatever edges is that I see, and I just use the edge control and, you know, push it into the braid, and it goes into the braid. It sets itself into the braid. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and finish off the rest of these braids, and I'll be back with the ending part of the braid. Okay, so I have completed the braiding process. Now it's time to set these beautiful braids. First, we're going to use our mousse. This is the olive oil mousse. So I'm just going to put that all over the braids, and that just helps to set the braids. It gets rid of a lot of the flyaways and frizzy ends. And then we're going to get our hot water and dip the ends in the hot water. And make sure that you're dipping it and pulling the cup down and dipping as you're going down, so that'll keep the ends nice and smooth, and it'll give it a fine point instead of a blunt point. So you just want to get a towel and just dry that off. And I usually take and just spray some braid sheen on there. I did that off camera, and I'm just showing you guys what it looks like. As you can see, those blocks, you can see how seamless those blocks are, showing you the ends and how they blend in from root to tip. Yeah, and there's lots of movement. She can take her braids, and even though she have a set part, she can still pull it up or down. And that's the beauty of the knotless braids. The knot is invisible, so it allows you to pull your braids up and down without having to wait for the braids to set in some cases, you have to wait a week or two before you're able to pull your hair up and down. But with the knotless braids, you're able to have that flexibility. And like I said, she can take and use a side part if she want, or a deep side part, and pull it to the side. Because these are the jumbo size, the blocks are pretty big, so they're not tiny, but you still can get that same effect as if you had small braids with the large braids. And here I'm just showing you guys the neatness of the braid and what the finished results look like. As you can see, I have her edges swooped into the braid, or shall I say edge controlled into the braid. And that is it. This is what it looks like. All right, you guys, that is it. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button so that notification bell can alert you of all the new updates that have been loaded to my channel. Don't forget to follow me on all my social media sites. It's been a pleasure to have you with us today. Thank you so much, and as always, be a blessing to others. Goodbye.